When I was on that stage press conference, I kind of got emotional a little bit. Like, wow, I'm back here again where I started, and just how Stephanie White was speaking so highly of me. Like, I'm like, this is where I need to be at, and this is where I belong. And I'm just so happy to be able to come back and handle some unfinished business.
Cheryl Swoops once said, "Nobody wants to play with the Indiana Fever." It was a bold statement that really captured how tough and competitive the team was.
People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Well, Natasha Howard just proved Cheryl Swoops wrong. Not only did she choose to join the Indiana Fever, but she also passionately defended Caitlin Clark and the team against all the critics.
I was really excited to also play with Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Leah Boston, like the player that, you know, that I also say stuff on the court to them when I'm like playing against them. But I'm happy that I'm playing with them, not against them no more.
We're talking about Natasha Howard here, a 3-time WNBA champion, former Defensive Player of the Year, and one of the few players in the league to average 18 points and 7 rebounds last season. So why would a top-tier star like her choose to join Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever? And how is she standing up for Clark and the team? Let's break it down.
Yo, what's up, fans? You know, I'm happy to be a Fever. You see me? See me? You see me? You see me with this on? Yeah, I'm back, baby. I'm back where I started. Let's go.
Remember back in April when people were quick to tear down Caitlin Clark? Cheryl Swoops led the charge with that infamous comment saying nobody would want to play with Clark in Indiana. Well, that whole idea just got turned upside down, and the basketball world is still feeling the ripple effect. What kind of impact does this have?
What kind of things do you feel?
I'm not in the locker room.
Okay. But
I'm talking about more social media.
Okay. It's a turn. Right? It's a turn, right? It's really a turn of the tides.
Well, right. Gil, here's my point. The beginning of the year, right, everybody saw.
For months, critics like Swoops pushed the idea that established WNBA stars would steer clear of the Fever. They painted a picture of veterans avoiding Indiana because they didn't want to deal with the Caitlin Clark circus, the media attention, the spotlight, and the packed arenas. It became the go-to argument for anyone trying to downplay Clark's impact on the league.
3 WNBA MVPs in your career. Would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
I can't. Bro, Cheryl Swoops is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlin is dominant.
Then, something happened that those critics didn't see coming. Natasha Howard, a 3-time WNBA champion, former Defensive Player of the Year, and one of the league's most respected veterans, didn't just sign with Indiana. She chose to return to the team that drafted her in 2014 with the 5th overall pick, the same organization where she started her professional career a decade ago.
She's a tremendous, not only a tremendous player, but a tremendous person. And what she's done the last 9 years in her career has put her in the elite company of many athletes and many players in this league. So, I want to say thank you to Natasha and to her family for coming back to us. Because when a player returns to a place that drafted them, that's special. And she chose us because she could have gone anywhere.
Wasn't just any signing. It was a statement that completely shattered the Indiana is toxic narrative. Howard didn't hold back her excitement about coming back either. During her press conference, she made it clear, "I just feel like I'm supposed to be here. I'm happy to be back where I started, and for my family and friends who also get to see me back where I began."
At the end of the day, the way Indiana came at me with everything they promised me and they keeping their promise, they sold me. And I took the bait for it, and I'm happy to be back where I started and also being back with Coach. So, and Kelly and also Amber as well, bringing her along. It's just a blessing to be back where I started, and also for my family and friends to also see me back where I started at as well. It's just amazing and a grateful feeling to be back in a Indiana Fever jersey.
What makes this even more impactful is that Howard wasn't pushed into joining Indiana or settling for the Fever as her last choice. She had plenty of options. That's a big deal right there. She chose to come back on her own terms.
That's a good one right there.
I'll be back like
Number 33, the original. Back at it.
Oh, Jersey.
Look, the original.
Right, we was with Adidas.
Woo, look at that.
2014, y'all.
2014, right there.
The emotional significance of this homecoming was clear during Howard's signing when she was given her original Fever jersey from 2014. It wasn't just about signing a contract, it was a full circle moment that deeply moved Howard. It tied her past to what could be an exciting future with this rejuvenated Indiana team.
Steph has always been on my butt about hustling, working hard. Do the little things, because the little things gonna take you a long way. And when I got the minutes that I played my rookie year, I took every advantage of it, and I'm happy to be back next to her, playing with her and her coaching me.
Howard wasn't an afterthought in the Fever's off-season plans, as Kelly Krause, the team's general manager, made clear. She said, "When Amber and I started talking from the beginning, the person sitting next to me is a high-end, high-integrity, high-class, great teammate." Howard was their top target from day one, a player they actively pursued to help transform their roster.
The talent, but first of all, we have the people to actually do it. So my thing is, like, I'm happy, like I said, to be a part of this, and also bring the leadership and the desire to show this young group what it takes to win a championship. I have 3, so my thing is, like, to show them you can't take no days off in practice. You gotta think, like, you practice, it's the way how you play. So my thing is, like, coming in, I'm just gonna show them, like, this is how you work hard. So when you work hard, it's gonna be easy in the game. It won't be as hard. So my thing is just bringing that championship mentality to the locker room and to the team.
The Fever's COO, Amber Cox, couldn't hide her excitement when introducing Howard, saying, "People say you should have a one-page resume. Natasha cannot have that. It's several pages long. The list goes on and on." That's the caliber of player who just chose to team up with Caitlin Clark in Indiana.
list of accomplishments are long. People say you should have a one-page resume. Natasha cannot have that. It is several pages. 3-time champion, 2-time All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player. I mean, again, the list goes on and on and on.
What completely shatters Swoop's narrative is Howard's own powerful words about why she returned. Far from avoiding the Fever, Howard expressed deep gratitude, saying, "I'm just really, really honored and blessed to see a team that appreciates me and wants my light."
It was day one. When I got this job, Kelly and I were on the phone, and we had 2 things on our to-do list. Re-sign Kelsey Mitchell and bring back Natasha Howard. We have been focused on this day and this moment since the day we started this process.
I think it was day 1 when I got this job. Kelly and I were on the phone, and we had 2 things on our to-do list: re-sign Kelsey Mitchell and bring back Natasha Howard. We've been focused on this day and this moment since we started this process.
The person that's sitting next to me is of high integrity, high class, great teammate. Players in this league love her. So welcoming her back, putting her on the floor with our guards. There's a reason why her nickname is Flash.
She also reflected on her growth since her first time with Indiana, saying, "I just feel like I've grown a lot as a person, and as a player, I feel like a lot of teams didn't really appreciate me." This wasn't just a basketball decision. It was personal. It was about finding a place where her talents and contributions would truly be valued.
A 10-point lead now.
Howard didn't just find a team that appreciates her. She found the perfect basketball partner in Caitlin Clark. This isn't just any partnership. It's the combination of a player nicknamed Flash with one of the most creative playmakers in the game today. Howard's elite transition scoring ability gives Clark the kind of target she's been missing in Indiana. While critics were busy saying no one wanted to play with Clark, these 2 were quietly building what could become one of the most lethal fast-break duos the WNBA has ever seen. Just imagine this play happening every night.
Last season, with a minimum of 25 games played, Natasha Howard was one of just 13 players to average 18 points per game. She was one of 16 players to average 7 rebounds per game. And the list of players to average both 18 and 7 last year, short and elite. Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Nafisa Collier, Brittany Griner, and yes, Natasha Howard. Versatility is a major calling card for Howard.
Let's break down what makes this combination so special. Howard is a transition scoring machine. Her ability to sprint down the court at full speed, stay in control, and finish strong at the rim is exactly what a passer like Clark needs. Last season, Howard was in rare company, being one of the few players to average over 18 points per game, while also grabbing 7 rebounds per contest. That kind of efficiency isn't just good, it's elite.
All of that, and we haven't yet touched upon what Howard does best: defend. Howard was named Defensive Player of the Year in 2019 and has finished in the top 10 of the Defensive Player of the Year voting 3 times in her career. Howard has averaged at least 1 block and 1 steal per game in each of her last 7 seasons. And that versatility is really what makes her a weapon on defense. Wingspan and 6'2" height allows her to be disruptive defensively around the rim on opposing bigs too. In fact, Howard will enter the 2025 season 25th all-time in blocks in WNBA history.
It's going to be Caitlin Clark Flash Show. So it's going to be phenomenal playing with a point guard, like you said, that have a good vision on the court, because that's like, as soon as she get the ball in her hand, she throwing it up because she already see the person down the court before she even get the ball in her hand. So that's one thing I love about her vision on the court. I really can't wait to catch all those passes and give her all the assists that she needs.